Good afternoon, Central Georgia. I'm meteorologist Jordan West. So it's raining outside, and I'm sure you guys have been able to tell already. But so far in Central Georgia, haven't had anything necessarily severe yet. Haven't had that severe thunderstorm warning, but we are now under a tornado watch, and they did update the severe weather outlook. So I'm going to break all that down and talk about what's going on right now and answer any of you guys' questions that you may have. So let me make sure I have the Facebook Live pulled up so I can see your questions, and then I'll get started on the forecast. So let's see, 13. All right, got it. All right, so for starters, let me go full screen. Got lots of rain. Looks like places like Jasper County, Putnam County, Monroe County starting to see the last little bit of rain for now. I know it looks like one big wave moving on through, but we do have a second wave back off in Alabama and towards Mississippi that will slowly make its way towards Central Georgia eventually. You can see that there. A majority of the severe weather, I will say, is down into northern western Florida, so the panhandle of Florida and southern Georgia. That's really the main concern. Anywhere north of really Macon and Warner Robins, it's not as bad considering we do have that wedge in effect. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But first, they did update the SPC outlook around 12:30, and you can see that the level 2 was a little bit north, and that green level 1 was also further north into northern Georgia, but they dropped that downwards. So like I said just a few seconds ago, that level 2 and that severe risk is really anywhere south of Butler, south of Warner Robins, south of Wrightsville. But even if you're in that green, you do want to continue to stay weather aware. Now, potential threats today are damaging winds, a brief tornado can't be ruled out, and the potential for a pretty large hail. So that's something we'll be looking at in just a second as well. I'm kind of just going to tour the radar right now and talk about what's going on. So for starters, this storm in Wilcox County, just west of Abbeville, has been, I think, the National Weather Service main eye catcher at the moment because it's very strong. You can see all the lightning surrounding it. It just left Cordele. Still seeing some pretty strong storms there in Lake Blackshear and entering Rochelle, Abbeville, eventually Milan, Eastman, and Jacksonville. So that's kind of the strongest storm we got going on right now. Everything else is just mostly heavy rainfall, not a lot of thunder associated with those northern counties. And once again, that is because of the wedge. And you might be wondering, what do you mean by wedge, Jordan? Well, if you look at the temperatures, I'm showing them now, we are seeing a huge temperature contrast. Notice up there in Forsyth, where they did cancel the Forsythia Festival, by the way, in Monroe County, it's 43 degrees. Meanwhile, in McRae, it's 72 degrees. If my math is correct, that's over a 30-degree temperature difference in a very small area, and that's pretty significant. That's all thanks to this wedge that we're seeing here. All of this blue is very chill and cooler air that's moving in, and we really need warmer temperatures for anything severe to develop. And that's why they extended that level 2 southward. Now, if this wedge for some reason decides to come deeper and southward more faster than what we thought, this level 2 risk could continue to be squashed southward towards southern Georgia, which is good news for us, not necessarily for southern Georgia. So we'll just see what happens, hope for the best, and prepare for the worst. But just going back to the radar once again, just that Cordele, Wilcox County, Dooley County, Chris County area has been like that main little area that we've been watching. Everywhere else has been getting rain. Different story as we head into this afternoon. Let's talk about the future view, and you can see that second wave coming in. So this is the first wave, pretty spot on. So this particular model, the high resolution rapid refresh model, has been doing pretty okay. But if it continues to be okay, it looks like we'll see some isolated showers and storms in our northern counties, which is, once again, I don't necessarily agree with that because of the wedge in this cooler air, but we will at least see some widespread showers towards the south. And then moving into 10 p.m., looks like some lingering showers. And as we move into Monday morning, similar situation. So the majority of rain that we did see Monday morning has died off. I know earlier this morning you probably saw that the models had a good bit of rain tomorrow morning, but no, that's no longer the case. It's pretty clear, and then by 10, 11 a.m., the cloud cover disappears, and we are back to clearer, drier conditions. So that's good. That's something to look forward to. We'll be back to temperatures in the lower 30s by Tuesday, and then it's going to be cold for most of the week next week. So that's what that cold front is doing for us. All right, so this is the graph model, just one of the many models that we use. But the reason I'm using this one is because it shows severe weather pretty well, at least the parameters of severe weather pretty well. So let's talk about it. So this graph model is pretty similar to it's pretty similar to the other model that I just showed you. Once again, it's also showing wind shear in our area, which seemed to have weakened a little bit since this morning. That wind shear could be pretty strong anywhere from now until 4 o'clock, it seems. Yeah, that's that wind shear. So you notice the red arrows. Let me grab my pointer here if I can find it. Oh, I can't use a pointer on the model. Okay, well, notice the red arrows are moving eastward, or from the west eastward, and the white arrows underneath those red arrows are moving from the south. That's that wind shear. That's what we're looking at in terms of strong tornadic thunderstorms that could be possible later on this afternoon. And then as we look through the instability, we are seeing some red and orange there towards the south. So that's something we're keeping our eye out on. And of course, that lifting mechanism would be the front itself, the low pressure that's moving in. So overall, just a lot of meteorology stuff that we look at in terms of whether or not this really is going to be a severe weather type situation. I'm going to take a break from the forecast and see if you guys have any questions. Refresh this here. A lot of people are letting me know they're watching. Great. Thank you all for watching. Remember, you can always watch on the 13 WMAZ Plus app as well. Yes, good news that we are getting a lot of rain because we have plenty of pollen outside the past, 2-3 weeks, and it's just been rough. The storm lab is just covered in all that pollen right now. Neil Smith asked if we had a tornado warning. No, we do not. We are under a tornado watch. Let me show that while we're on that topic. And by us, I mean 2 or 3 counties in the 13 WMAZ viewing area, so not a lot of people. Let's pull up that graphic. Yeah, so that would be Telfair County, Wheeler County, and Montgomery County, all under a tornado watch. And everybody else seems pretty well, although you do want to stay weather aware. We're watching that still. Reading some more of y'all's comments. Yeah, everybody, please stay safe. Be careful out there on the roadways. The rain has been pretty heavy. Now, I technically have not been out there because I've been here all morning, kind of watching the storms, but it's been pretty red all morning in terms of the radar. Okay, I think I answered all you guys' main concerns. Let's talk about wind speeds. So wind speeds aren't going to be as strong as some of the other severe systems we've had the past couple of months, but nevertheless pretty strong. These are wind gusts, and this is the higher resolution model that we were looking at earlier, and you can see that those wind gusts, as we head over the next hour or two, can get up to 30 miles per hour. So prepare accordingly, and then they start to drop off a little bit as we head into tonight. And then earlier, it looked like they were going to come back up. It looks like it's not. They're going to just calm down and just chill out a little bit. Nevertheless, a few wind speeds, wind gusts here and there, nothing too much to worry about. But I think the strongest wind gusts would have been, if not earlier, in the past couple of hours, right about now in the next hour or two. So wind gusts are starting to die down some, which is good news. Let's go back to the radar, see what's going on. Here we go. So yeah, once again, we've just been keeping our eye out on this storm just in Wilcox County right now, over Abbeville. If you're out there, be careful. Let's see if there's any hail in there. No, not seeing anything, just a blank screen. Doesn't like there's much hail anywhere, so that's good news. And then just taking a peek at velocity, we typically look at this, you know, if there's any type of rotation or if we're worried about tornadic activity, but it doesn't look like there's too much of anything. It looks like we are seeing some outflow boundaries move through Lawrence County where the winds are kind of rolling on top of each other, as well as with that system over Abbeville right now and over Rochelle right now. Y'all be careful out there. Definitely stay indoors. And then just looking across the map, doesn't like anything too bad. Like I said, if you're north of Macon and northward, I think you guys are in a pretty good spot because that wedge is really surging southward. But once again, we do have another wave moving through later on, so we'll be watching that as well. Let's see. Let's look at future view temperatures. So I was talking a little bit about next week, and I didn't really have too much time to show this earlier this morning, so I'm definitely going to show it now. But notice, for starters, the wedge on this graphic, which is a lot stronger now than what the graphic is currently showing. So take that as you will. And as we head towards, let's see, Monday morning, that cooler air definitely surges on in. This is 7 a.m. Monday morning. Atlanta 39 degrees, Athens 41, 39 up there in Rome, Macon even at 49 degrees. So a little bit cooler, you know, we're back in the 40s, but it doesn't stop there. So we warm up during the day, but notice that, here, let me back up a little bit. Notice that the winds are still out of north. So that means we still have cooler air trying to come in, but the sun is out. So it's kind of like a battle between the sun and the cold air that's coming in. During the day, that dominates, the sun dominates, obviously. But at night, the sun sets, so that cooler air says we're sneaking on in. That red line there is the freezing line, so that's the 32-degree mark. So anywhere north of that red line is below freezing, dangerously cold outside. And you can see as we head into the early morning hours on Tuesday, it gets really cold again. And the same thing happens on Wednesday, the same thing happens on Thursday. It's just a battle between the sun and the cooler air that's trying to come in from the north. That's what happens when that cold air or that northward wind is over us for a long period of time. That's going to happen over the next week or so. The next rain chance will be Thursday and Friday, or really Friday of next week. So we're watching that. But main situation happening today is the rain, all right? All right, let me see if you guys have any other questions. Let's see. If we are out of a level 1 and 2, then does that mean there is still a chance of a tornado? That's what Paige Rich asked. Good question. Correct. If you are not in a level 1 or 2, I don't think you guys will see a tornado. Now, if you're a couple of miles within that green area, potentially, but like I mentioned earlier, this is the main reason they sunk that level 1 and level 2 down, that wedge, right? In order for thunderstorms to form, we need instability. Instability is caused by warmer temperatures. If we're not warm, really 60 degrees or higher, we're not going to see these thunderstorms. So if you notice, Milledgeville is at 50, Forsyth is at 44, Monticello is at 44, Sparta is at 48. So up there, they aren't going to see any strong thunderstorms unless the wedge weakens or unless the stationary front that's right here where you see that temperature gradient, unless it weakens, you know, but I don't think it's going to weaken. It's been strengthening pretty much all day. And if it's going to strengthen even more, it would be later on tonight, so when the sun sets. So if you're not in a level 1 or 2, I personally do not think you will see a tornado today. Now, if you're in a level 1, that chance is still there. If you're in a level 2, it's even higher. And if you're under that tornado watch, I would definitely continue to stay weather aware. Reading some more of you guys' questions. Connie Klein says it's raining hard there in Eastman. Okay, yeah, so I think I answered most of y'all's questions so far. Someone was asking about the timing, and I can just walk through the future view one more time. Let's see. I have so many graphics now. Here we are. Okay, so this is 1 p.m., so right around now, and it's pretty accurate with the radar so far. As we head into 3 p.m., similar situation. Most of the rain is off to our east. We have another wave coming. Anything north of Macon, I would kind of take with a grain of salt because that wedge is there. So you might see less rain than what's on the radar or on the future view. And then as we move into 4 p.m., rain coming in from the west, that's that second wave. We have some isolated stuff happening a little bit northward. Like I said, that wedge, if that wedge continues to stay in place, that won't happen. And I'm sure we'll get an update of this particular model soon. And then moving into 8 p.m., 9 p.m., similar situation. The storms are weakening considerably as the sun starts to set, darkness takes over. And then by 1 a.m., we're basically all clear. Got some lingering showers here and there, but by 5 a.m. Monday, 6 a.m., we're basically done, and the clouds move out by 11, and then we are clear for quite some time after that. So let's see, go back to the radar. Tammy said she just got on. What about Milledgeville? Milledgeville is currently seeing some light rain at the moment. Dora asked about Warner Robins. They are clear at the moment. Now, I'm not going to go through every single city, but you can see here on the radar that some places, a lot of places are getting a break from the rain, which is good to hear. If you have anything to do, go out and do it now before the second wave comes in. All right, well, it looks like I answered you guys' question. Taylor Stephenson is actually in the building, so she is going to be monitoring anything that pops up. If there's a severe thunderstorm warning, you already know we'll be on the 13 WMAZ Plus app, so go make sure you have that downloaded, and if there's anything else that pops up, she'll be here. So you guys are in good hands, but so far, this first wave looks like it's headed on out. Only counties we're going through right now is Lawrence County, Wilcox County, Telford County, Dodge County. Those are the counties we're looking at right now. And so just make sure you stay indoors, continue to be weather aware, and be careful out there on the roadways. And with that, I am going to let everybody go. Y'all have a great afternoon.